So let's talk about a little bit on Wahl Vapor Boosted, our own Wahl Boosted series. I want to start with the static blade of Wahl Vapor. Wahl is a beast on designing a static blade. They just design it, manufacture it, release it, and undeniably, their static blade becomes a leading industrial standard and there's nothing to argue about. Wahl proved it over the years. And here we go. F32 fade out, the latest static blade from Wahl. How good it will perform? We'll see. On Vapor, we have problem with the dynamic blade. Their dynamic blade is just too lightweight for this mechanism. This mechanism was designed for heavy loads and heavy dynamic blade. You got this part, which forced the dynamic blade to move in a perfect straight line under the heavy loads. You got springs here, which led you to put a lot of pressure on the blades if necessary. This blade is here to play safe. When you use it with this mechanism, the only reason is you don't trust the quality of your motor. There's no other reason for it. This blade on this mechanism gives you a bad cutting performance. Starcraft on their rotary based clippers went for the exact same idea. They even used a lighter dynamic blade. When you repair a rotary based clipper of a Starcraft, you never can max out the performance of the clipper because this blade just doesn't let you to. You should never use these lightweight blades on such mechanism. This blade was designed for AC clippers, something like Gamma X Ergo. As you can see, their blades is just, here we go, or vector based clippers, something like this. As you can see again, here you go. This blade is good for these type of clippers, and generally it's good for the clippers that have Babyliss like mechanism, a mechanism that the cam follower and the dynamic blade gets attached to the spring, something like this. You see, lightweight blade is good for this mechanism, not this type of mechanism. So on Vapor Boosted, I'll use this blade, the heaviest blade that you can find on the market, which is the blade of Wahl itself. Okay, this is the previous generation of dynamic blade on Wahl. This is the latest generation. I want to go with this. This is the heaviest blade that you can find, and I'll just go with this on Vapor Boosted because I don't trust this blade on cutting performance. Another thing about the blade is, so you see coating all over the static blade, and when you have coating all over it, a layer of coating goes on top of these edges, which reduces the cutting performance. Okay, when you go both full covered, you should really trust the design and the quality of the coating. On Wahl, they didn't go for it. They just made this full DLC on both front and back. But on the dynamic blade, as you can see, there is no coating on back. So they were like, okay, we coating it all over it. We reduce the cutting performance on the static blade, but on dynamic blade, let's just sharpen it and don't cover it. Let's not reduce the cutting performance that much. Let's just go with this type. The problem is when you don't have any coating on back, it will damage the coating of the static blade on back here faster. And when you go even with a heavier blade, the coating will go away just faster. But I don't care. I like to max out the cutting performance. Okay, so this will damage the coating. This will damage the coating faster. But technically, you should go with something like this, a dynamic blade that has coating all over it. So the coating on both blades will remain much longer. Okay, I like to go with this. I like to go with a heavy blade. This is about the blade. About the motor, I can't do anything now about the motor, because the problem I have is, let me show you the motor. So the problem I have is they didn't change the shaft. It's the exact shaft that you see on rotary. The rotary clippers of Wahl. This is the exact shaft. I don't use this shaft. I use my own super torque shaft. Shaft in just shaft mo. Let me see. Let me show you. Oh, here you go. Okay. So there you go. I'll use this shaft for my boosted clippers. This is my boosted magic clip. This is 1700 RPM brushless motor, and you see, I use this shaft, a super torque shaft. This actually has a bigger torque in compared to a StarCraft's rotary based clippers motor, and on this I can't change it. So the process of changing the shaft is risky. You may damage the motor itself. So the probability is low to damage it, but it's never zero. So I don't have 1800 RPM brushless motor, so if it got damaged, I can replace it. So for now, I just play safe until the barber tell me go for it. Okay, it's a risky process to change it. For now, I'll just stay with this. And I tested four different RPMs of brushless motors on this housing with this mechanism. The 1700, the 7200, the 1800, and the 1900. The 8200 was perfectly enough. Maybe going with the 1800 was a little bit too much insanity. We didn't need that. 1800 is just a lot. It damages the cam follower, and this part, the cam follower here, and this part just fast, and the spring gets worn out, like corroded under that just insane RPM. So one of the things that I'll say that make me to say, okay, let's just continue with it, is just a small torque. Maybe if they went super torque, it was just too much. We go 1800 with this shaft, or 7200 with a bigger shaft. Okay, maybe the reason that they didn't change the shaft was the RPM of the motor is just very high. If they go super torque, it will just wreck the clipper. Okay, so maybe I'll get more insane on these clippers with bigger torque, or maybe not. Maybe it's just already enough. We should test it. It just got released 2 months ago. We don't know. On motors, we can work on it. Okay, we can change the shaft. Maybe we shouldn't change the shaft. Maybe we can go 7200 and then change the shaft, and we'll see. Okay, for now, I don't change it. Let's see how the motor performs. Let's see how the shaft performs, and we'll just stay with this. There's a lot you can do with it, but for now it's risky. I don't have 1800 RPM brushless motors. The process of changing shaft is just too risky. Okay, so that's about the motor. Maybe they could work on the shaft, or maybe the RPM is just too much. We'll see. Only time proves the reliability of a system. Let's just continue with it. About the battery, they always lose a weak battery. So I'll use the batteries that I'll use for our own booster series. The Sanyo battery and the LG battery, the 3500 milliamps and the 3300 milliamps, and they are pretty insane. I'll use them. I just connect my own circuit to them. Here you go, and you'll end up with something like this, and when you connect the wires, you'll get something like this, and I'll cover it and it will be good to go. So there's a lot to do on vapor. A steel vapor is upgradable. The only thing is that you should know what is too much, because vapor is a little bit angrier in compared to the previous cordless clippers of Wahl. Okay, so yeah, about the blades, surely I'll never go with this one. It's just too lightweight. I don't trust this on cutting performance. It wasn't designed for this type of mechanism. I have a video in the channel that I explain different blade combinations. You can check that too. I'll put it in the comments or description. And about the motor, maybe changing the shaft is just too much. It's already too much. With even this shaft, the 8000 is just too much RPM. But we'll see. You can always get insane on Wahl. Okay, so we'll see. And about the battery, yeah, there you go. My two favorite batteries. This is how I have planned to boost vapor. Okay, so yeah, let me assemble it. Let me show you the cutting performance with this blade, and yeah, that's my plan to boost vapor. So here we go. Just one step away from absolute madness. I didn't change the shaft, change the dynamic blade, change the battery. A silent monster. And about the carpet test, come on, we don't even need it. See you next video.